Think I've been here before. I know that I must have met you in a past life. Got my heart on the floor. Go slow. Keep me falling for you all night. Tell me now, you're the one I've been dreaming about for my whole life. Had you on my mind, oh. Hear the sound of your voice in a crowd, calling my name, yeah, you captivate, oh. You captivate me, baby. Cover me in a dream of love. You're pulling on my sanity, it does seems. I need you next to me, can't get enough. I don't wanna miss your energy. So tell me now, you're the one I've been dreaming about for my whole life. Had you on.
All right. Welcome, everyone. It's Abby and Paz here live for our community strategy workshop, which is all around how to launch a new community. And I am so excited to have Abby here because she actually attended our first ever meetup at the Community Collective in Sydney back in 2021, and then has since joined our cohort program. She became an alumni editor, reviewing other strategies for members, and then has become one of our cohort coaches, now training other companies in how to launch and master community building. So can we just give a massive round of applause to have Abby here, because she is our guest of honor. And today really is about helping you understand how to launch a new community. So the purpose is to uncover the methodology around how we have built communities from the ground up, and also to give you a template that you can follow just to get started. And off the back of this workshop, we've had so much feedback around really helping people ongoing. We can't launch a community in 60 minutes. So today we're also going to be sharing more about a new group coaching program that we're launching today and sharing it for the very first time in history. So I'm super pumped to have you all here from all over the world. We've got everyone joining in. I'd love for you to post in the chat, where are you based today? Where are you based? Just post the city in the chat and let's just have a look, because I'm in Melbourne today. And so I would love to acknowledge the people of the Wurundjeri country from the Kulin nations. And so these are from the Woiwurrung and Boomerang language groups. And today I'm at the Commons in QV, which is our home office at the Community Collective. And tomorrow I'm flying to Byron Bay. I'm going on a 4-day retreat with 12 other executives to really go deep in community and signature projects. So we've got people, Maria is in Torquay. Love that, around the corner. We've got people in Sydney, Gold Coast, Brisbane. We've got people in Nigeria, India. Oh my God, cool. Taiwan, very, very cool. Well, wherever you're tuning in from today, you can also find the traditional owners of the land in which you are based on to also see who the OG community builders are of your country. And so that brings us to today. We're going to start with a check-in with Abby herself, and then we're going to dive into a really hands-on workshop. So please make sure you have like a pen and a paper or like a digital notepad. We've had over 105 people register for this workshop. We've had over 105 questions pre-submitted. So I'm going to ask all of those 100 questions in Abby in a quick fire, rapid. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm not going to do that. But we will go across everything that you wanted to learn about in that workshop, and then give you access to our community strategy template, one pager. So then we're going to actively keep that like on side of your screen, get that all finished so you can leave with something really tangible. And we've actually built an entire new tool that we're also going to launch and share today, which is really exciting. And it's a community audit. And so this is our whole methodology built in 30 questions across 6 pillars that you can go and rate yourself on to get a PDF strategy that is recommended for you of like where you should focus on to make this really valuable. Does that sound good? Does that sound good, everyone? Just add a reaction in Gather Round, which is the platform that we're joining on today. It's a very interactive platform. And we're going to have plenty of time for Q&A. And basically, we're going to throw over to Abby to basically go through the new group coaching program. So if you do need deeper support after this, we have that there as an offering. And then we'll wrap up. We've got a gift to share at the end, and we're going to have a blast. But first, we have always kick off. Yes, John. I think, John, we must be, you're at the Commons in QV. Looks like that background of the wallpaper. Yeah, that's very cool. We're at the same office. Well, gang, we are going to jump straight into a check-in because at the Community Collective, we believe in actually connecting as humans before diving into any content. So we've got Abby here to ask us a question to really ground us in this workshop. So Abby, what's the question for today?
So the question to kick us off, I want you to think about a community that you've recently joined. What drew you in and what made you stay? So you'll see a little pop-up that's come up. Feel free to type it in there. You can make it anonymous if you prefer. I'm going to add mine in there too. People being welcoming. Yeah, so true, Maz. One of the big pieces when we're doing onboarding is how quickly can we make our first friend? So that it's super powerful. So you joined a 12-month community. Joined it because of the one leading it, Michael Dixon. Yes, the vibe attract the tribe, and definitely having a strong leader at the front, someone who matches up with the energy that you're looking for is a really key one. Oh yeah, love it. Hey, Sophia. Thanks for coming along. What else have we got? Because of the knowledge and content. Chile Exponential. What a cool name. Amazing. Yeah, as you can see, I've got a couple of the Impact Collab fam in here, which is nice seeing a couple of them pop up in there. The Climate Community Alliance joined 3 days ago. All right, Sean, look, I'm excited to hear how that goes for you. One, sense of purpose. That's something that's a big one for me as well, having that values alignment. And things that made me think and move. Oh, Come, do you want to share a little bit about what were the things that made you think and move? If you feel like sharing. If you don't prefer not to, you can say pass. That's okay, we can move on. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think Andy. See Andy preparing to share screen? There we go. So, the welcoming people. I'm the founder and I love my members. It's a good reason to stay. And hi, Caesar. So nice to have you here. Yeah, joining another group and realizing that the people there all had the same purpose as me. Yeah. And I love this idea of community coming around a vision goal, a shared goal, vision or mission. It's a really beautiful unifying element. Beautiful. I'll pass over to, before we go over to Paz, and we're so excited about this workshop. Thanks so much for everyone who registered and is coming along. I wanted to give you a little bit of a background on me. It's like, who is this person? So as I mentioned, my name is Abby. I am the founder of the Impact Collab. And how I started was I actually had a bricks and mortar co-working space. I had a background in marketing and partnerships, and I had this opportunity at the perfect time to open up a co-working space right in the middle of COVID. Like, why in the middle of COVID would you open a co-working space? And it was because during that first lockdown, we realized how much we needed community. And I'd had my first social enterprise in 2018, and I just realized how much I needed to find my people who believed that we could exist at the intersection of making an impact and creating a better world and making money. We could live good lives and we could create a better world at the same time. Those two things can and should exist. And so with that co-working space, in between the two lockdowns, we built basically through the first lockdown. In between the two lockdowns, we filled the space. It was huge. We had every seat. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because we found other people who were really resonating with that idea. Second lockdown happened. And that was when I was like, okay, this is my time. I need to figure out, what does the virtual experience look like? And so I spent that whole second lockdown interviewing people, having conversations about going, okay, well, I know that I want to be with these people, but like, what is it that they really need? And what can we build together? And so it was through that kind of collaboration, those partnerships, and really like just throwing things out to seeing what sticks, that I was able to create a digital community membership. So the lockdowns ended, and the co-working space continued to grow, and we had it was actually a thriving business by the end from the events that we were running. But the digital community had taken such a life, and the referrals had gone across Australia, that I went, if I don't have to pay $30,000 in rent, maybe I might pack up this part. And I was really lucky in that our co-founder was like, well, I think this is what we've got here is really solid. I would love to buy you up. Okay, fantastic. So we actually sold that co-working space, and I turned the community into a digital community membership. Now, the design of the Impact Collab is, well, we're for impact-led founders. We're designed around intimacy. So we have a cap of 150 members on the community. It's largely digital, but we have in-person activations. And the big thing for me is I wanted, after having a co-working space, I didn't want to run any more evening events. So it's about having the crew of people to come together and say, hey, let's go to evening events together. But I wasn't planning them anymore. So I've really been able to design the community around the way that I want to show up in life, working from wherever I want, with the people that I love, and actually delivering a transformation. And we have our first cohort that we're planning soon, which is around helping these consultants and coaches build a 3-day work week, so they can spend the other 2 days on the things that matter. So that's what kind of brings me to this point. I was able to grow our team to, we've got 4 contractors that support us. And it's meant that I was able to build the right systems because it's been a monthly membership. So a couple of fun facts. We've always been a monthly membership. We've never had lock-ins. It's right from day dot. It's been monthly memberships, which range between $60 to $90. Our average member sticks around with us for 2 years, despite the opportunity to leave every month and reassess every month. So we're really proud of that. The other piece as well is that over 50% of our members are active contributors. That's more than just posting in a Slack channel. That's actually skill sharing with each other. So twice a year, they'll host small group skill sharing and mentoring sessions with other members of the community. So we are truly a community built by the community for the community. My job as a community architect is to find the magical people, put them in the space, and let it all come to life. So that's what brings me here. And I'm so excited you're all here because this is a really exciting journey.
How good is that? I just love your story, Abby, because what you've built at the Impact Collab is just such a true example of the power of actually connecting people, creating a container for impact to happen. And what a better place than the Impact Collab. And so I'm so glad to be co-running this workshop with you, because Abby and I have really been going through this methodology of how do we help people launch a new community. Because what I'm going to take you through now is just a bit of a background on this methodology and how we can help you today basically complete your first community strategy one-pager, or if you've already got one, just have a bit of an update. And so I loved all of the answers that you shared around what drew you to communities to join and what made you stay. For me, I only join one community per year because I manage 3 others. And basically I joined one community this year because of this leader that I look up to, and I've stayed because of the people. And that's what you want to create, right? You want to create a space where people want to be there. And there's ROI, not just for the business, but for the members. Because what we believe at the Community Collective is that community is the new currency. Can you just post a yes if you are curious about community, if you're like already sold on this idea, you already have one, and you understand that community is the future of business. Because in the age of AI and information slop and overwhelm and people overcommitting and not understanding what they can actually contribute to, we're in a trust recession. Okay, you look at LinkedIn and you don't know if Sally DM'd you, if that's like an AI bot, Claude and Anthropic and OpenAI and Lovable, just building tools. It's never been easier to launch a new community. Open a WhatsApp, open a Slack. It's free, but it's never been harder to build trust at scale. And so the future of businesses are building community. You're turning your customers into raving loyal fans, just like Canva has built a $1 billion empire through literally having 150 million Canvassadors in their community. Or Notion, having Notion tiers across 158 cities, running events in person for local founders. And so in the age of marketing not working, your ads, you're like, I post into the void. Is anyone coming back? Okay, I was spending money here, hiring SDRs. We're just trying to get our website up. We need to build trusted containers and networks, because if you're looking to have a new haircut, you're probably not going to go on Google or Claude, who's never had a haircut. You're probably going to text a friend or drop in that WhatsApp community being like, any good hairdressers in the Surf Coast? And if Tanya recommends one, you're like, great, I'm going to go because you trust Tanya. So how do you build that around your business? Now, the catch. Building a community can be tough, exhausting, and sometimes lonely as hell, right? And so I want to walk you through the story of how we launched a new community in 2021 with just 17 people, which has now turned into a movement of over 21,500 people in our audience, a community of over 700. And to date, we've trained 420 companies in how to build a community to basically turn their customers into raving loyal fans, including training Google, Notion, Canva, TEDx. We just trained their team last month. And so now what we're looking at is actually sharing and open sourcing our methodology with you. So we are being fully transparent and sharing exactly the steps that we did so that you can learn too. And so it started with Gaz and 17 of us at the Commons in Cremorne. I was working as a community manager at RMIT University and found it very difficult during the pandemic. Reached out to a couple people. Turns out other community managers felt the same way. And we gathered as a humble group having sushi and wine. And today it has turned into that insane global movement with cohorts running. We've hired over 10 people in the total element, built a 6-figure business. I take 4 months off every year of the Community Collective and live down the Surf Coast in regional Victoria of a 5,000 person surf town, and have built not only my dream life, but dedicated my life to helping you. And yes, Sophia, there will be a recording. Let's all say hi to the people in the future. Enjoy. And we will share summary notes. You'll get all the slides. You'll get the worksheet, like absolutely everything. We're going to share it all with you today, so you don't have to be stressed about what we're taking notes of. So what we're going to run you through is the 4-step process that we went through in launching our new community. And then we're going to give you the community strategy template, and we're going to finish yours live here today. Does that sound good? Just post a yes in the chat. If you're ready, you're pumped, you're like, give me the framework, Paz, help me build that type of community. Yes, Covey, Yvette, Hillary, Brunda, Celia, Angela, Andy, Caroline, amazing. So Caroline, my mum's name is Caroline. She's currently puppy sitting for me because we just got a new puppy. The dog is like burnt orange and it's hilarious. But currently I can be here with you and not worry about the puppy. So the Community Compass. This is a 4-step framework of exactly what we did at the Community Collective. So you can now apply this methodology. So it doesn't stand for north, east, south, west, but just as a compass gives you direction, the Community Compass gives you the methodology, which stands for notice and be niche, engage early, share the solution, and think who, not how. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in, because this is also the exact strategy that Seth Godin uses. We interviewed him for 90 minutes back in 2024, and he shared his strategy, which he has implemented in the Community Compass, which has allowed him to run these insane book launches across 158 cities, and he has never left New York in the last decade. And so Seth Godin uses this strategy, and now we're going to share it with you. So before we speak about community, we must absolutely understand and have the exact same definition. So you've probably heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again because community can be misunderstood. I don't know if you've ever seen on LinkedIn, like someone's like, join our community, and it's just a newsletter, subscriber, sign up, which is great, but that's not a community. A community is a group of people who are brought together by a shared interest and purpose, and they connect and support each other on a regular basis. They regularly care about the whole. We don't all win unless everyone wins, okay? And so it's really easy to define community by looking at what it's not. So what we're not here to teach you is how to grow a really large audience. You can go to like social media marketing experts on how to grow a really large following. And every business should have an audience, right? It's the one-to-many communication. It's your newsletter, the social media. Your audience consumes your content, follows your brand. They might love it and refer it, and they might become customers, and that's great. But they don't support each other. Yeah, they can reply in the Instagram comments to each other, but they're not supporting each other on a regular basis. So that's what we call the triangular model. And then what we've defined at the Community Collective is this circular model of community, which is where this many-to-many communication style. They're in the Slack, they're on the Discord, they're at the Friday monthly supper club, connecting. There's this like sense of belonging. You feel like a CC and wear orange and like you're a part of something. Similar how sports fans wear their jerseys and sing the song when they win. You have rituals and members contribute. So Broadsheet, great example of a business building over millions of people in their audience. It's a publication about like the best hospitality industry in Melbourne and Sydney. And then they turned Broadsheet into a community. I sat down and had coffee with Nick Shelton. He is the founder of Broadsheet. He like asked me to pick like a restaurant in Melbourne. I was like, oh my God, I can't pick a restaurant for the founder of Broadsheet. Like he knows everything. And I picked Napier Quarter in Fitzroy North and he loved it. And I was like, oh, life made. And we sat down and I said, Nick, like what does community look like at Broadsheet? He said, well, Paz, like we took our audience and then we created a private membership where you can join this dinner club every month in Melbourne and Sydney to make friends and get access to like the coolest new like VIP restaurant openings. And so what that did for Broadsheet was created a movement around their brand. Now I'm not only reading about the best opening, I'm actually going and making friends in a new city where I didn't know anyone before. I've made a friend. And a friend goes a long way in the age of the 21st century when we're quite isolated and can easily be stuck at home and live on a laptop and speak to 1,000 people and never have left our house. So if I leave my house and make a friend, I'm going to feel pretty loyal to Broadsheet. And so when we get to the movement model, does anyone know the name of this model? We had the triangle, then we had the circular model, and now this, you can kind of see it here. I want everyone to post in the chat. What do you think the name of this model is? I'll let your brains think about that. But this movement is where you have this self-sustaining involvement from the majority. And what this is where you sit as the community architect. Yes, Jacob, it is called the snowflake model. Wow. I'm so impressed. This is the snowflake model where you as the community architect sit at the center. But you don't just manage the community. You create member leaders, ambassadors to then engage their local communities and create this movement. This is the model that Burning Man is built on. We interviewed the founder of Burning Man. He joined with like a big hat and feathers and tarot cards all behind him. It was really cool. And so really Burning Man is built on this snowflake model. So now that we understand the definition of community and what it's not, I used to know his son. How good's that, Josh? He's a really nice guy. And the community compass is around noticing problem that you want to solve. Okay. You've got to be driven by serving your group of people, by understanding the challenges that they have and that they need solved through your community. And so what this is really understanding what you are doing and why you exist. So the community collective, we wanted to understand who we were going to be serving. We noticed that building community was tough, but who was experiencing that challenge? Now, in the 21st century, I'm going to throw out the term niche. It's not enough to be niche anymore. If you listen to one thing, it's this. You have to be niche cubed. In the age of AI and 8 billion people on this planet, it's really hard to cut through the noise. So if you're going to launch a new community, you cannot be niche, you have to be niche cubed. So let me explain. Being niche is serving a group of people who have one trait in common. Niche squared is you have 2 traits where people have in common in order to join your community. Being niche cubed is having 3 traits that these people have in order to join your community. So when we started, we said you have to be a community manager profession in Melbourne, a location, in the startup space, in an industry. If you serve Spider-Mans over the age of 40 with 5 kids and they all catch up, they're like, wow, I've never met one other person like me, and now I have 10. So you're going to blow the minds. And that's what we did. And then it went viral because it was easy to refer. If you build a community for superheroes, bit vague. But for Batman only, Spider-Man's going to be a little bit jealous, and he's going to see other Batmans being like, oh yeah, this is Batman community for you. You should go join, because it's really easy to identify. And that's what allowed us to scale from Melbourne to over 18 countries with over 20 ambassadors serving community builders. And eventually now we've like let go of those traits. So in the start, it was really helpful to be niche cubed, and now we're just niche. But if you're starting and launching a new community, you've got to be niche cubed. So then you've identified who you're serving, the problem that they basically experience, and then you've got to go talk to them. Don't build anything, don't launch anything, don't pay any money on anything, and engage them. That's if all you do is go and book 10 calls with the person you serve and ask them these 3 questions, you're doing well. We sat down with our members at the Community Collective and we said, what challenges do you have? What goals are you trying to achieve? And what support are you looking for? We got so obsessed with that. We interviewed over 100 people and we had this huge analysis of what these people needed. And we designed the community around that. So now you've gone and noticed the problem, you've engaged the people that you're serving, and now you're going to co-create the solution. A great architect doesn't build his dream house for the client. The client would be like, I didn't want a rooftop pool. We've got 5 kids. The architect builds for the client. But in order to do that properly, you have to share the solution, get feedback, co-create. It's not your job to build the house and be like, hey, everyone, come in, get ready. No, you just want the foundations there and everyone comes in and they go, hey, maybe we should paint this wall green, or actually let's add a couch here, or let's add an extension on the back. And so really, you don't want to fall down this trap. This is the trap where people notice a challenge, they find their people, and then they spend hours in their house, at home, online, vibe coding with Lovable and Claude, building a community, and then they launch to an empty room. But we're going to save you from this mistake. And instead, you're going to engage with people, share the ideas before it's even ready. Done is better than perfect here. And so we ended up launching our cohort program. This is literally Paz growing up over the last half a decade, serving community builders. And consistency is your weapon. And so we shared this solution before it was even ready. And we had 36 people go through it, and then 100. We just finished our last cohort with 118 companies. And now we co-create this cohort experience with everyone. And it continues to grow in terms of serving all different types of organizations, whether there's a large tech companies, not-for-profits, or a co-working space. And so once you then share your idea, you get some feedback, you're now going to adopt this mentality. Who, not how. Okay, who, not how. The old world of thinking that no longer serves you, I'm going to abolish here, is how am I going to build this community? How am I going to engage everyone? But Paz, how am I going to write my strategy? I don't have any money. How am I going to run all these events? Okay, you're in the old world of thinking that is not going to serve you. You need to adopt the community architect mindset that is who. Who can help me launch a community? Who can I learn from? Who can I do this with? Who is a master at this that I can just get the recipe and implement and learn on my own behalf? You're going to build with people, not for. Stop what you're doing. Just listen to this one piece of advice. Just give me your attention. Stop your emails and the thing. I know. Just listen to this piece of advice. Never launch a community for people. Awful strategy. You must launch a community with people. Okay. I want you to lock in first 10, 20 people who are keen, because we are going to throw out that how mentality. It's like a dictatorship. I'm going to make the decisions here and you're going to walk and live in this house. No, we're going to co-create this house together and see what can you contribute and what do you want this space to look like? Yeah, Ang, I love that. Has anyone here actually launched a community already? Can you post in the chat if you've already launched? Or if you haven't and you're new, can you post a new in the chat? Because you are at a great opportunity to adopt this who mentality. Okay, Ang has launched. Melanie has launched. Brunda is new. Caroline is new. Sydney is new. Bella, yes, you launched. You were part of cohort number 8. You're a CCN. I love how many CCNs are back here who've already gone through our training and you're just like back for more. Are you launching second communities? What's up with that? So before we get into our community strategy workshop and give you the template, I've really got to drill this last step in, which is the who mentality, okay? You're going to go out and not only find people who want to be a part of the community and become members and contribute, you're going to find ambassadors, leaders. When I first quit my job at RMIT, I had no money, I had no revenue at the Community Collective, and basically I saved 10 grand. I spent 2 grand on a website, and registering the company and like an accountant basically to register a PTY Ltd and set it up legit. And then literally I just thought, who can help me do this? We brought on 4 ambassadors. I brought on 5 advisors, and then we literally built it together. Okay. And so you don't need lots of money. You don't have to go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on executive coaching and all of these really elite elements. You're going to remember how to just start. And start before you're ready, because we turned that one meetup of 17 people into this insane community that now catches up in places I've never been. Hawaii, Barcelona, Lagos, Dubai. And that's because we've built the methodology, we co-created with our members, and we give trust in them as leaders. And we've gathered some of the best people in the world to understand what they've done, including heads of communities at Culture Amp, Zapier, Calendly, Slack. We had Seth Godin, Steph Claire Smith, and Laura Henshaw, and we have documented the industry because we are building something new. And so when you build a new methodology and create a new category of our own, it starts to take fire. Because remember, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And so remember, when you're building your communities and launching, you could organize one event and you would create a memorable moment. But if you teach members how to co-organize events together, you can create one viral movement. And this is the unlock. Oh my God, I love this, Bella. Bella is saying, honestly, this one piece of advice from Paz and the community cohort, building with, not for, was the permission slip I needed to start Scrappy and build momentum with my founding members. Can we just give some applause emojis for Bella? Good on you, Bella. Like, you took the action. I can't build the community for you. Abby and I can't build the community and interview the members, but we can give you the recipe. So before we jump into our activity for getting the community strategy template, unlocking the goodies, really just want to ground us into like, why bother? Because it's kind of hard and it doesn't happen overnight. I've been in this game for 5 years building the community collective, but over a decade in building communities for over hundreds of companies. And so why? Why are you building community? And especially around a business. So can everyone just post in the chat, what are the benefits of building a community for a business? Why would we bother? Why wouldn't we just do a marketing strategy or do paid ads? Why don't we just do partnerships with other like large companies? And Abby, I would really love for you to come on the mic and also just share like, what do you think is the benefit of actually building a community and like your why around you, why you do that at the Impact Collab, Abby?
For me, community was around, I knew that I wanted to be surrounded with certain people that lit me up. I had been in the corporate world. I felt the conversations were really out of alignment. I had started a business. I was going to business networking events. And again, it was someone who wanted to make $1 million and buy a Ferrari. I was like, I want to make $1 million so I can give away 900,000 of it. And so very, very different values alignment. So for me, it was about being like, who are the people that I really want to support and build with? And then what is it those people really need? And it's been this like slow burn of being able to build something that's super powerful that really like impacts their lives in a positive way. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to actually change people's lives, but also they've changed my own. And they've made me such a strong, so much of a strong, stronger founder, of a business builder, of a community builder. Like, they make me better. And so I get just as much, probably more, from building this community than they do. But it's been through also specifically designing around the life that I want to live and the community I want to build. So that's why I don't host events.
Yes.
And yeah.
I love that. I love that. And just like what you shared, it's the impact, right? Like, we get one big, bold, beautiful life. And are you going to spend it doing something that you don't enjoy, that's not having an impact on the world? Clearly, everyone that's here is driven by a motive of value. And so I love that, Abby, because what you've just touched on is like some of the benefits of building community, not just for yourself and for the business, but for the world. And definitely everyone is nailing, everyone's already experts here in the chat. We've got Sean, finding your audience, Nebressa, values and positive impact, Jean-Luc, we've got stickiness, Hillary, stronger connection, loyalty, community is the antidote, right? So companies build community is basically around retention, new ideas, feedback, get brand awareness, user-generated content, and that referral, of course, revenue. You can have a community as a service and charge for the network. Content, just like endless amounts of content, and of course, that impact. And so building a community around your business or your project, of course, will have flow-on value for your company. And so this is also what you need to ground yourself in when launching a new community, to make sure that you've got that North Star. So the 4-part framework to understand whether you should build a community is you've got to have these 4 assets really clear. You've got to know your business goals, the benefit it brings. Oh, welcome, Anf. Let's all post a welcome in the chat. Give him, Anf, the best welcome in the chat right now. Welcome, Anf, over in Sydney, a migrant wealth builder. So glad that you're here, Anf. What a legendary CC and you are. Welcome. We've got a crew community here. And so you really need to understand the business value that building this community is going to have. And then you need to have audience demand, right? You've got to go and engage those people, because you cannot build a community without anyone in it. And humans are pretty dynamic. It's not just AI agents chatting to each other. And so really that's where the magic happens, when you've got alignment in that. Also, you can make enough money to run this. We're building profitable communities here. So you've got the finances and the resources to serve your members. Okay. We don't need you out of pocket. Don't take a business loan. All right. We're going to make sure everything's all good because we're going to have sufficient resources. So you need the time, the expertise, the know-how, the recipe, the strategy that we're going to give you. And of course, a gap in the market. You don't want to just go launch another founder accelerator if there's already 250 in Australia. You want to do a map of the landscape and find out exactly where the gap is. So this is the exact 4-part framework that Abby and I are going to take you all on deep with for over 6 weeks in our new group coaching program. Never before launch. We're launching a new community off the back of this. How meta. And so really what we're going to focus on over those 6 weeks is finding what is the business value? Is it money? Is it impact? Is it referrals? And where are the members going to gain value? And then we're going to launch a new community in that sweet spot that doesn't compete with anyone else in the market. So are we all ready to jump into the strategy framework? We're posting a yes in the chat. Does anyone have any questions, any comments? You can raise your hand at any point and jump on the main stage if you would like to. And while we're seeing if anyone has any questions, any comments, any feedback, tell me a joke as long as it's relevant, doesn't waste our time. And we're going to jump into our strategy template. So Abby and I are going to run you through this active part of the session because we want to make this really valuable for you and not just like a cool, I learn a lot, but like what now? So I've put a template link in the chat and I would like everyone to add an orange heart on the comment once you've opened it. I just want to make sure that link's working for you. Let's get everyone on the same page. Everyone's jumping in. So click that link in the chat. We'll have it in the summary notes if you're listening on the recording, and basically make a copy of that Canva template. It's orange. It's a vibe. I love the color code at the Community Collective. It's D25525. We're doing a rebrand at the moment. We're going to keep the orange, but I'll share more on that a bit later. All right, everyone's got enough time. We're doing the strategy template. Let's get cracking. Everyone roll your shoulders back. I know Josh is like he's learning, but we're going to roll our shoulders back, get the blood pumping. Yes, Josh, vibes. So what we're giving you here is really the recipe. Okay. If a great chef wants to learn how to bake something new, like a pavlova, he's not just going to like grab some eggs and some sugar and like wing it on the weekend. He's not just going to like figure it out. He's going to go find the recipe. He's going to go call Nigella Lawson and find the recipe for the best pavlova. And what he's then going to do is replicate it. He's going to get his ingredients. He's going to look at the method and he's going to learn from the best, and he'll probably get a pretty good result. And of course, the more times he does that, he'll have a great result. Just like my grandma. This is my grandma, Lyndall, who taught my mom how to bake a pavlova. And then my mom taught me. This is little Paz, who baked her first pavlova. And so this is the recipe that I've used in my family for generations. And really, I didn't have to recreate the wheel, right? Yeah, we love pavlova. And really what we did is we learned from the best and we got a 10 out of 10 result the more times we've done this. So Abby and I have now launched multiple communities in multiple industries, in multiple countries and time zones and categories. And we have documented the recipe. So you can get the recipe, add your own flavor to it, and get a pretty good result. And so we can't build and launch the community for you, but we can give you the recipe for you to go and experiment with on the weekend. And this is just like the part 1, okay? So opening the strawberries. I know we love passion fruit on it, a bit of cream, it's a vibe. So in your strategy template, we're going to start with the description, okay? Because in the great words of Albert Einstein, you can't explain it simply if you don't understand it well enough, okay? If you're building a community for those people over there doing that thing in the West, what the hell are you doing? No one knows how to refer that, explain about it if it's them. So what we want you to do is just use this very simple 1-sentence framework, which is we serve who to do what so that they can achieve an outcome. So the Community Collective, we serve businesses to increase customer retention so that they can build an impactful community. right? So really we're looking at like who you're serving, what they're going to get, and the outcome and the transformation that they will experience. Abby, can you explain what the Impact Collab is in one sentence?
I can. So at the Impact Collab, we help consultants and coaches build a 3-day-a-week business that makes money and makes a difference. So the other 2 days are theirs for rest, family, or whatever matters most.
Oh my God, doesn't everyone want to join this community? I love that, Abby. And I'd love to hear everyone else. Can you post in the chat? How would you describe your community? And if anyone wants to share live, just chuck your raise hand button on Gather Round. And if you want to share live and describe your community in a sentence, you can absolutely do that as an invitation. So I'd love to hear everyone else. How would you describe your community? Post in the chat. Let's get some, some ideas. The collective brains trust here, because really it's got to be clear. Okay, it's got to be concise. It's got to be niche cubed, and really, really a 5-year-old could understand and refer your community. That would be the litmus test. So as you're writing down just like some draft answers, and this is not to get your perfect strategy down pat, but just get a rough draft out there. And then we've obviously got to go share it with some people, right? So Joey is we serve working neurodivergent women who want a sustainably successful career that is not plagued by persistent burnouts. Absolutely love that. And everyone, once you love something, just add an orange heart in the chat. Jacob, we're students and remote workers to focus together and take breaks at the same time in local cafes, libraries, and co-working spaces. Love that, Jacob. And Jacob, you could even focus on the transformation. So it's like where students make friends and have, focus time by taking breaks in local cafes with other people, right? So we serve people who care about play and inclusion to be a champion of neuro inclusion wherever they are. Amazing, Madeline. Madeline, get even more specific and niche cube. People who care about play, is that kids? Because they care a lot about play. So you really want to get a little bit more niche there. And then we're really doubling down on that member persona. So again, you're going to come up with your niche cubed member persona just for the launch, right? We're going to do the 3-month pilot with this niche cube persona, and then you can be a bit more inclusive. But communities are successful when they're ruthlessly exclusive, to be inclusive of the right people. You don't want to serve everyone, then you serve no one. So Abby, who is your niche cubed member persona?
So when we started, we were impact-led founders because there wasn't really spaces for that. In the 5 years, we've had things like SECA, Senvic, amazing impact communities that have been created. So our new niche cubed is those consultants and coaches who want to be companies of one. They scale through systems, AI, coaches, or systems, AIs, and contractors, but they don't want to have the big team. They don't want to have the big office, and they want to work 3 days a week, so they have the other 2 days to do the things that they love. So we've gone right down from being just an impact-led founder to going, it's the people who they don't want to have the big teams. They don't want to have the big offices. They want to work 5 days a week. And that's our niche cubed.
Love that. Yeah, and there's a question here from Jacob. How do you balance being specific versus succinct? Yeah, obviously you don't want like a 5-page description of your community being really specific, right? Like it's got to find that balance between specificity and succinctness. So for example, your niche cube member persona maybe just has 3 to 4 words to describe who that is, to then really hit the needle on the head. And you can always like elaborate and go deeper, right? So we're just going to get a rough draft of your vision. So this is the 10-year impact you want your community to have, because great leaders rally an inspiring vision. And that's where people get bought in, because a vision is a picture of the future that produces passion and commitment. So our vision of the Community Collective is to lead a global movement that establishes community building as the most impactful business strategy. Abby, what is your 10-year impact?
Well, I've got for our vision, we envision a world where solo consultants and coaches don't have to choose between profit and purpose. So it's where building a thriving business and making a real difference are simply the same thing.
Oh, love. Gang, feel free to post your vision in the chat, even if it's just, you want to change the world. This is the thing about how you're going to leave the world in a better place, right? Like we are all custodians of this earth. There's only one planet. I mean, Elon Musk is building stuff to Mars, but we want to stay on this one. And so really thinking about like, how are you leaving the world in a better place? Why would people care about that? And what's the impact that you want to have in the next decade? Because this is your real guiding truth. And so then in terms of like going down the ladder here, we're then getting to your mission, which is that 12-month impact. And we're moving quickly here, right? Like we're just giving you a taste. You've got the recording. You can come back to this exercise, but we're moving pretty fast through this because we want to make sure we leave ample time for Q&A. So that mission is the 12-month timeframe. Vision, 10-year. Mission, 12 months. And really this is like in the immediate future, what is the impact you want to have on the world through your community? So our mission at the Community Collective is to serve businesses through our gold standard community building cohorts and coaching from down under. Abby, what's your impact mission statement?
Our mission is to give solo consultants and coaches the community, confidence, and tools to build a company of one, a lean 3-day-a-week business that pays them what they need and creates the impact they set out to make.
Love that. Like, you see how succinct Abby is? Must be all the cohort programs we've gone through, refining. You know, and this strategy template, I literally complete this strategy template every 6 months. I think I've put a whole example of a draft strategy of the Community Collective from a couple of years ago in your template to give you an example of that, as well as our metrics tracking and a monthly review that we do. And so we've, of course, got to think about measurement and defining success, because it's all well and good to like explain the hypothetical impact, but a goal without a plan is a dream. And we want to make sure that you actually get results. So we need to connect that 10-year to the 1 year to then goals and metrics where we have measurable outcomes of what indicators of success tell you that you're on track or off track in launching this community. Because what we're here to do at the Community Collective is help you answer the question, is a community needed in your category? If you go through 3 months and you work out like, oh, wow, there's actually no demand, we're going to save you years of time wasted and money and mistakes. And so really, I want you to get to this question and to this answer quickly. And by doing that, we're going to set some goals. So how it works is goals is like the bucket where it's like, I'm going to have some growth goals and have some engagement goals. So I just want you to pick 3, post them in the chat. What goals are going to be important for you in terms of launching the new community? Is it around product goals? Maybe you've got branding goals. Maybe it's revenue goals. At the Community Collective, we have growth and impact goals. And so then through each category, you're going to take this strategy worksheet offline and you're going to then look at example metrics that then define the success, and you're going to make them numerical, because there's no point being like increase retention, too vague, not great. Welcome new members, too vague. I want to see numerical, like 30 new members by the 1st of December. And we will email out in the post workshop notes, like some examples of metrics to measure community success. We wrote a whole white paper with 30 people in the industry around defining some great metrics for community, just to make that a little bit easier for you. And of course, you want to use our CC and methodology to set great metrics. So these will be in the slides in the follow-up notes to kind of help you set those and make them, you know, really numerical is the key. If all you do is pick numerical metrics, you're 80% ahead of the majority of people on the planet who set lofty goals and then get lofty outcomes. So that's not going to be you, which is why we've left you a metrics report card, which then you then have to report on the metrics and work out if they're off track or on track. So we do this as a team at the CC every week. We've got 8 different metrics that we measure and we report on them, and we go, oh yeah, we're trying to hit 180 people in our cohort program. We're at 100, so we need 80 more. And that is your North Star. So obviously you're going to put metrics here that indicate the value. So we just went through that super quickly. We've got lots of kind of ideas here. This is just a taster for you to then just take this offline. You're not going to complete it all in this live session, but we've got a full completed example of what a best practice looks like in there to really make that simple for you. And of course, you can kind of jump. We use Claude for Anthropic's AI model. And every year I kind of take our community strategy, I send a voice note, and I get Claude to write a draft and then action that myself. So we're going to leave you with this quote before I throw to Abby to chat about how to kind of bring this strategy to life. Is focus is the art of knowing what to ignore. it's really easy to spend a lot of time like running your dinners and the events, creating the graphics and like building the rituals. But if your community isn't generating value for your business or the members, it's not going to last very long. And so what I would love to do is just open the floor and just have a quick check-in and see if we have any burning questions or clarifying elements before we dive into the kind of next steps and how we can really help you action this strategy. And if you don't have any questions, can you just give us a thumbs up reaction in Gather Round and we'll move on. But if you do have a question, you can post it in the chat or just raise your hand in Gather Round, and then I'll throw over to Abby to speak about how to really get the, yeah, I love that, Sachi, amazing. How to really kind of get this strategy off the ground and what the core focus should be after that. All right, everyone's giving thumbs up. We're ready to roll. Good. Love that. Love that. No one's got any questions. So Abby, I would love for you to kind of explain how group coaching came about, the problem it solves, and just the high level 3 transformations that it's going to help people with really in launching their new community.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as this, Paz and I have been collaborating on different consulting projects up until this point. And we sat together and we went, do you know what? We would love to be able to bring more founders on this journey. And there's such power in being able to do it as a collective. So the big piece when you're building out your strategy, and it's wonderful to have all this infrastructure, but to Ashish, I think it was Ashish's point earlier in the chat, he was going, I wonder, how do I find my niche cubes? And I mentioned, well, that actually will come from the interviews. But it's sometimes really hard to just go and book the interviews, keep up the momentum, because you actually need to get enough interviews in to be able to identify what are the patterns, who is this going to actually resonate for, who needs this, and mapping out within that landscape, where can you sit? So as far as, the problems that we're working through on these 6 weeks is, let's remove the guesswork. It's taken me 5 years to get to this point. I want to shorten this down to much, much shorter. And it's been a big journey for Paz as well. So we've gone, what would it look like? And what do we wish we had at the very start? It's around reducing our isolation, because also as community builders, we're the ones that are running around and we're the glue, but sometimes the glue needs some more glue around them to be able to be to hold it all together. And so having other people who are going through that journey being like, oh, this went really well, but this was really hard, and to be able to see and heard and listen to, and also figure out how to navigate that as well. The next piece is around accountability. Certainly, how do we keep up momentum? Because again, this is something that could be, it's kind of like cleaning your house. If you give yourself the whole weekend to clean your house, you'll take the whole weekend. But if you go, oh my gosh, someone is coming over in an hour, what am I going to do? You can actually get the house cleaned up in a pretty good state in an hour. So the amount of time we give to a task is how much time it will take. So what's it going to look like for us to get that first pancake out of the pan? It's not the prettiest, but it's edible. It's great. And from there, we can just keep on improving that recipe. And that comes to really strong accountability. Having some feedback as well through that process. And I think ultimately the biggest piece for this is, athletes that want to go to the Olympics train with the best coaches. So we're here to be in your corner to help you get to that point. And let's build something really meaningful for who you're building it for.
Yes, Abby, I absolutely love that. And this has been years in the making, where we've run our 8-week cohort program at the Community Collective, but it's only for those with existing communities. And so we turned down a lot of people who were like, I'm ready to launch a new one. And we've been like, oh, sorry, this one's to go from 1 to 1,000. But now this is really the section to go from 0 to 1. And so we would like to open up 6 spots for anyone to basically join and have 90-minute sessions every week and just unblock and just have the accountability to bring the momentum. And if you want to do this on your own, amazing. But if you would like Abby and I in your corner, you get access to us in a 24/7 Slack channel and other people. So if you are keen to join, just post a yes in the chat and we'll email you the PDF with this. This is an invitation. If you want to join and you feel called to do that, amazing. If this is not useful, no pressure whatsoever. Oh my God, love that, Madeline, Melanie, Brunda, Sean. We're going to have to open up more than 6 spots. Maybe we'll recruit some other coaches. Kakung, oh my God, Caroline, Sydney, Nebraska, amazing. We will email you all. If you post a yes in the chat, we'll email you the PDF with the full program. This is new. Okay. And really, Abby is going to be leading these group coaching sessions. And then we're all going to join as a collective to go and help you launch a community. So I put a link in the chat there. If you are curious just to go go deeper on your community strategy, like you're like on the fence and not sure, you can book a discovery call with Abby and have a one-on-one with her either this week or next week. There's not heaps of spots, so I would just like jump in the Calendly link, book something, put it in the calendar. You can always kind of reschedule later and just really have a think about how this might suit you, because building alone sucks and it's just so much more fun doing it with people. I feel like I've been doing this with Abby for 5 years and the joy and memories that we have together is just next to none. So does anyone have any questions for Abby about group coaching, how the 6-week program is going to work? You can post in the chat or raise your hand. Otherwise, give us that big thumbs up. Tell us, I'm good, Paz, move on. We've got 4 minutes, we'll finish. So Caroline says, can you join in one session with another person? So the program is per individual, Caroline. So basically, we want to serve each individual. They get access to the account, to the calls. And if someone else wants to join, then they can also join the program. And so that would be how that works. Brunda, Brunda, that would be awesome. Love that. Well, gang, we are going to wrap here. And of course, we always ask this question before we end, which is, what is your biggest takeaway from today? Abby and I would love for you to post in the chat. What is your learning? What is the reflection? Are you feeling inspired? Have you come away, or is this just a waste of time? We'd love to hear your feedback in the chat. And Abby, what has been your biggest takeaway from today in just a sentence before we wrap up?
Oh, look, it's not my biggest takeaway because I say it every single time, but I think it's the most important statement, which is build with community, not for community. Come back to it every single time. And this is the difference between success and failure.
Absolutely. I think I accidentally created my entire dream life, and now I'm just dedicated to helping you all do the same for you, because it is so rewarding when you get this right, but doing it wrong is like so stressful. So gang, there is a gift that we have promised at the end of this, which is entirely new. This is like not launched. It's probably going to break. I vibe coded it on Lovable for all of you, but I've spent months and months on this insane tool that's honestly, I don't even know why we're giving this away for free, because this is our entire methodology in an audit. And so what we are giving you is, I'd love for you to bookmark this link. Never been live before, but this is the 6 pillars in how to build a successful community. And what this audit is going to do is, you're going to answer the 30 questions. You're going to get a score across the 6 pillars of community, objectives, members, pathways, activation, systems, and scale. And then you're going to get a full page PDF of your results, understanding exactly what you need to actually action next steps. You're going to get this whole priority areas for improvement. Our AI agents will like recommend the methodologies that are useful for you. And I'd love for you to send some feedback to hello@thecommunitycollective.co on this audit. We've built it on Lovable with our Claude agents, so it's new, but I honestly just wanted to give you something that's so valuable. Yes, do the audit, even if you don't have a community, because it's just really good. You're going to get a really low score, and that's fantastic. If you get a 0 out of 120, I'm so grateful, because I wish I had this when I started the Community Collective. So again,
Paz, I was just going to jump in. I have a question here from Emily, and so I just want to answer it. So Emily, you asked, is this only for people that have experience in building communities? AKA, would it be suited to someone who's itching to build a community but doesn't have a background in building one? My background was in marketing. I did not have any experience with this. If I had this at the very, very start of my journey, I think I would have expedited this process probably 10 speed. So this is, you're in the exact right place.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, this new group coaching program, the How to Launch a New Community, 6 weeks, 6 people, 6 sessions, is for anyone curious about launching a new community. You don't have to have a business. You don't have to have an idea. You don't even have to have any traction. And if you already run a community, you want to launch a new one, you will get our methodology and you can apply that to other projects. So gang, so grateful for all of you here today. Please post a thank you in the chat. And of course, we also want to make sure that you get lots of value from today. So we've built an entire resource directory with over 100 resources. So whether you join the program or not, here's everything that ever helped me building community. You can access that resource library after you share feedback. And of course, have the best day ever. I can't wait to see the communities that you build. And I can't wait to spend 6 weeks with you and Abby when you launch your dreams. So please, everyone, unmute and say goodbye. That's a human thing, just ghost an event. Well, you might ghost an event, but everyone unmute, say goodbye, say thank you to Abby, and of course, everyone here live, and enjoy the rest of your day. Everyone, unmute, say goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
you.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good
The
day.
best. Yes, amazing. Keep going. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
See
Oh
ya.
my God, how good. Bye, everyone. Let's listen
Thanks
to
for
our
coming.
music dance party to close out the session.
They say the holy water's watered down, and this town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day, we'll make the mundane our masterpiece. Oh my, oh my love. Take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to the dead and buried, on the edge of your knife, staying drunk on your vibe. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground of your sanctuary. Shadow me with your touch, oh Lord, return me to dust. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found hopeless hallelujah on this side of heaven's gate. Oh, my life, how do you breathe in, take my breath away? At your altar, I will pray. You're the sculptor, I'm the clay. Oh, my, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down, so dead and buried, on the edge of your knife, staying drunk on your vine. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground, the sanctuary. Shadow me when you touch, oh Lord, return me to dust. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so heavenly, higher than next to the sea. Never you're next to me, oh my. What was in black and white until I saw your light? I thought you had to die to find something so out of the ordinary. How are you laying me down to a dead and buried, on the edge of your night, staying drunk on your vine. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground, the sanctuary. Shadow me when you touch, oh Lord, return me to dust. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found.
Wait.